Hi, I'm Sadye, and I'm putting out my first single, Biblical, on May 4th. Honestly, it was born out of something kind of painful, which I feel like is not a unique story, but I went through some really serious health issues that kind of didn't allow me to work or be super social, so I just found myself very locked in my room, writing poetry, writing songs, and yeah, in a sense was therapeutic, but it actually it was an uncomfortable time in my life, and when I came out of it, I had all these songs that I didn't know really what to do with, and I never considered doing music professionally, and I just kind of started talking to friends, seeing what the next step would be, and started playing small shows. And I remember reading an interview with somebody, I don't remember who the artist was, but it was like something dramatic, like they were quitting music because everything that they had written about was so personal and painful, and they were touring on it, and they hated their life, basically. And that's kind of when I was like, maybe I should try writing about other people's stories, or kind of pull from a more creative place, because when it's so real, it sometimes isn't fun to do it in a public setting. But yeah, I never quite got away from that. I still always pull from such a personal place, but I think that's just what works for me, and so that's what I just keep doing. You still being stung when I'm falling in love. Sweet anxiety, like sticky bubble gum. Put it all on me. I think my strategy pretty much every time I write, alone or in a room with other people, writers, producers, I don't ever come in with a set concept. I just hear the music, start maybe carving out the track, and then I just think about what is on my mind in this moment, how am I feeling, how was I feeling when I woke up this morning, and I just pull from exactly what that emotion is. So I just try to write in the moment what I'm feeling, and it kind of goes in a circle, and then I'll maybe realize oh, I was stressed this morning about this thing that's been on my mind, and that's okay, that's what I'm going to write about. So yeah, I tend to just try to really put myself in the moment instead of, going around a concept, I guess. Okay, so this first single is, it's kind of funny how the song came to be, because there was this person that I was dating that I just kept going back to over and over again, and I was like, listen, I'm never writing about this person ever again. This is annoying to myself at this point. And then I was set up in a session with a producer that I love to work with, and when I got there, I realized hey, the last time I was here was exactly 2 years prior, and I met that person that I ended up in this back and forth relationship with the night after my first session with that producer, and I just thought that is so odd, that I've declared I'm never writing about them again, and then here I am in the space where it kind of all started, so to speak. So I was telling the producers that, and we were kind of laughing about it, and then because I write in the moment, that's just what was on my mind. So yeah, the song is very push and pull about me kind of going back to this person over and over, even though I know they're bad for me. And I've been saying it's kind of I've realized I kind of do what Tarantino does in his movies, which is rewrite history a little bit. Okay, this person was definitely, stomping on my emotions and they were in control, but I like to be well, maybe I didn't know what I was doing. Maybe I was playing with you, maybe you were chasing me. I like to kind of rewrite history in that way, I guess, and kind of give myself the power back, because it's a fantasy, it's whatever I want to say, so. I would say kind of a pivotal moment in my so far career as a writer and an artist was probably the same as a lot of people, which was the whole lockdown and everything of 2020, because I basically had prepared to move to LA even though I couldn't afford it. I didn't really know what I was going to do, but I got rid of all my stuff and I moved into this teeny tiny apartment in my hometown, and I thought I'll be here for a month or two and then I'll just be gone. I'll figure it out. And then of course the world shut down and I found myself in this tiny apartment with no stuff. I had a mattress on the floor and I had my instruments and I had recording equipment and I just had nothing to do. So I think I made like 90 demos in that time, and I just started sending them to my management, and I wasn't even like, oh, I need to be productive or I need to do this or that. I just literally had nothing else to do. I didn't have any stuff. I sold all my stuff to move to LA, and then that wasn't in the cards. So I just started making music, and it was such a cool time because I learned how to track my own vocal and how to record myself on guitar, and I got so much better at guitar. But at the same time, it was like the most depressed that I've been, like maybe in my life. And there was a day that I just kind of had given up. I was like, okay, I guess I'm not going to LA. Like my work permit is still not happening. Like everything's still frozen. Like I need to figure out like what am I actually going to do with my life? And I went out to the store and I got a hammer and a nail and I put a nail in my wall and I hung up a picture, and I just thought, okay, this is gonna be my house. I'm gonna settle here. This is home now. Like I'm not moving to LA. I'm living in the future. And then, I kid you not, like the next day my manager called me and was like, you gotta get to LA. Like, can you be here in like a month? And I was like, no problem. I packed like the few things I had. I was like, how did that? I just like had finally accepted, like, stop being depressed every day. Like stop feeling sorry for yourself. Like this is where you live now. Like feel a little more permanent about it. And then literally within 24 hours, that was not the case anymore. And I was getting ready to move to LA again. So yeah, I had interest from my label, and that's kind of where I'm at. I've just been in the studio creating music and getting excited to release it. And yeah, sort of still getting out all those emotions from that time in my life, like catching up to the thing. The biggest thing that I found was like, yeah, just kind of like the idea of the blank canvas. Also, I've been through a lot health-wise and everything, so like the white clothing and like aesthetics kind of give me that like sterile feeling, and that is something that's such a through line in my music. So there's like a lot of medical references, and that's kind of like pulled into my aesthetic in a sense. And also because of everything I've been through, you know, there's anxiety. Everyone, like I said, it's like quieting the noise in this city of like what you should look like, who you should be. And I feel like being like, I'm in all white all the time, it has just quieted so much of the noise, even when it comes down to like, what am I gonna wear when I wake up today? Like, it's made so much more simple by just, these are my options, like that's it. And I also always joke, because I'm like, I love fashion and everything else, but like, obviously, you know, I can't afford high-end fashion, whatever, like dresses. So it's like, I have made like repeating outfits like part of my aesthetic. Like I have a uniform and like people are like, wow, that's so cool. I'm like, I wear the same pants all the time. But it's become sort of like people recognize me. They're like, oh, you're in an all white outfit. And it's like, it's kind of funny because I can be like glamorous and high fashion, but like I live in LA, you know, things are rough here. I'm repeating a lot of the same looks, but people are like knowing me and recognizing me for it, instead of feeling like I have to keep up with wearing designers and like a different outfit every party, every event. So I've kind of like taken where I'm at in my life and how I'm feeling and like incorporated it into my style. So I am Sadye XX on Instagram, Cult Sadye on Twitter, and yeah, I'm on everything, TikTok, Spotify, Sadye XX. Hi, my name is Sadye and you have just been buzzed.